Hey, it feels like we are recording this from the fog in this movie. It would be much scarier if we just got done watching John Carpenter's The Fog. I actually thought it would be dark out by the time that we got out here, but it was like, oh wait,
Yeah, it's a little surprising.
well, there were also no previews in front of this
No.
either. So we got to see a advanced screening of How to Train Your Dragon 3. I'm Brad Jones, and where can we find your YouTube channel at?
I'm Gino Reynolds, the real Gino, Reelgeno.
And you can subscribe to us too. We're at youtube.com/Stone Gremlin Productions. When does this come out? Is it in 2 or 3 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
2 or 3 weeks from now, this officially comes out. But they did do an advanced screening of it here in Champaign, and so having seen this movie now a few weeks early, I can vouch for the fact that the character of Toothless is still adorable. Toothless is a big old cat with wings.
Yeah, pretty
And, like,
much.
can summon lightning, just like Lloyd. Lloyd would be very, very confused if he suddenly sprouted wings. It would just be, "Ah." Come on down from here, buddy. So it is. You asked me before this started if I rewatched the other two movies before this one, and I didn't have time, so I didn't. But I mean, I have seen I've seen the other two movies. We reviewed the second one. I don't think we reviewed the first movie, but I have seen the first movie because I saw it before the second one came out. The first two movies I remember really, really liking a lot, and this one certainly does have. It does have the gorgeousness of the other movies in this film.
It was a nice looking movie.
It is
yeah.
a beautiful film. There is a lot going on screen in this. A couple times to the point of sensory overload.
In a way, a lot of times they had a lot of the dragons in the sky and they're showing the town and everything just all at once. It reminds me of that opening scene of, I think it was episode 3
Yeah.
of Star Wars, that space battle.
Oh, sure.
Where it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
everything's happening at once.
There was a little of that there at the beginning of it, and even when they're in their village and they're living, like among the dragons and everything, and then they're in their dining area, and it was long
Oh,
tables,
yeah.
everyone just slinging food back and forth and eating. It looked like a Where's Waldo cartoon.
Where's Hiccup?
Yeah, it looked. There's so much going on. I genuinely don't know. Like it would actually be really funny if somewhere in there was Waldo, because that's kind of what it looked like by the time you would get to like the Great Waldo Search or something like that, where he'd be among the Vikings. Like, oh, now the wizard's gonna take him somewhere else. So, and there are again, yeah, of course the animation in it is top fucking notch. I mean, it is impressive when they go into the dragon world and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it probably, we saw it in 2D and it probably looks really cool in 3D as the other two movies do too.
Those little baby golden dragons, whatever they were.
Yeah.
They were all flying around them and everything. That probably definitely would look awesome.
No, yeah, that would look really, really cool in 3D, especially if you're seeing this in IMAX. IMAX 3D would definitely look awesome. And there are some genuinely like really sweet moments between Toothless and did they ever name the female one in this? The Bright Fury or the Light Fury?
I don't think they did.
I can't remember. Yeah, they
I mean, she really didn't quote unquote connect with humans till like the very
Yeah.
end. So
Yeah.
I guess they wouldn't. I
wouldn't
still think they
assign
would
her
have
a
really.
name
I
yet.
think they probably would have anyway. But
Sure.
no, I don't think they did.
Those scenes with them together are really, really funny, and it could kind of sum up a lot of this movie to the Homer Simpson quote: "He misses casual sex."
It's like you have to let Toothless go so he can get it on.
Yeah, yeah. The movie also, I thought, had a really good villain.
I like the villain. I think his reasonings for doing things was a little too generic.
Oh, it was
But
that.
but was he entertaining?
Yeah.
And was he fun to listen to? Yeah.
It did a good job because the villain in this movie, who's this Light Fury hunter, and yeah, just wants to capture the 2 dragons, keep them for themselves, and he has this serum where they kind of do his bidding for him. And
Oh, he wanted to kill Toothless.
oh yeah, he wanted to kill him.
He has a bunch of basically mindless slave dragons.
Yeah,
Poisoning with their own stuff.
with their own venom. Yeah.
And then his reasoning though, he goes, when I was younger, I killed a Dark Fury or a Night Fury. Is it Night Fury, right?
Yeah.
I killed a Night Fury, and I was a hero, so now I want to kill them all. That's it.
Yeah, it is a generic villain. It is, and when the way he looks and the way he looks and acts, it's like this cross between Christopher Walken and Claude Frollo. Like, but here's why I really, really like this villain. The movie did a really good job of making you hate this guy.
Yeah, he was very easy to hate.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, like I really want to see this guy bite it at the end. I'm like, I hope to God this is one of those kids' movies where the villain croaks at the end of this. So in that regard, I really enjoyed the villain of this movie. Like, yeah, when you break it down, sure, he's got a generic backstory and everything, but I was like, they're doing a good job of making this guy really evil and really, really, really unsympathetic. So that I particularly enjoyed about the movie. You know, the climax of the film, because you kind of know, I don't want to spoil it too much because this is an advanced screening review, but it kind of goes in a place where you're expecting this to go because it's the final part of this trilogy.
Yeah.
They're advertising it as if this is the last one.
Well, the credits were all. I mean, the credits reminded me of any like series that's ending like a Lord of the Rings or something where they're showing you pictures and clips from the previous movies.
Yeah.
Because like this is the end kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about the TV show. I don't know if it's still going. They added that Netflix series or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen the TV
but
series.
the movies are supposedly done after this one.
It does have a pretty sweet conclusion. It's well done. It looks gorgeous. There was a baby crying during it. I don't think they were crying at the movie. I think they were just crying at the fact they're a baby.
Yeah, a lot of babies. I noticed parents walking out their babies throughout the entire screening.
I know, yeah.
I mean, I understand bring the kids. It's a kids movie. Bring kids to it, but I still, it's like babysitters, people, babysitters, please. Too many babies.
So overall, this movie does do a lot of things right. It does have sweet moments. The character of Toothless is still a great character. He's still, you know, a really sweet, fun character, and it's certainly easy to fall in love with this dragon. But this movie has some obnoxious shit in it. Jesus Christ. For everything that this movie does well, and it does a lot of things well, the animation is great. The action in it is really well done. It does have some sweet moments. Holy shit, with the fucking comic relief in this fucking movie.
Just about all of them. In fact, probably all of them.
Except for Craig Ferguson.
Yeah.
I loved Craig Ferguson. At least felt like he belonged there.
Yeah.
Like, and he's got a funny ongoing bit that I laughed at with him and this little Hypnotoad kind of dragon. Like,
and more of them kept showing up.
Yeah,
later, and you think in a way you're thinking he's hallucinating them at times.
Yeah, kind of like, is he just insane? It's like, oh, it might be both.
And it had a nice payoff too. I thought it was kind of a funny payoff.
The payoff of that was good. I enjoyed him a lot in the movie, but it's been, I haven't seen the first two since around when the second one came out. Were the friends as obnoxious in the other two movies? Were they? Maybe they just bothered me more in this one. I don't know if they have more screen time in this one.
Yeah, they must have, because they're always saying something. There's the one that's trying to have sex with Hiccup's mom.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, the last movie, she just lost her husband. He died, and you're a little young, I think, for her, and in a way he's competing with this other guy, and in the end she gives the young one validation.
Right. That happened towards the end at a point where I was checking out every time these characters came on screen. The friends that sound like they don't even, it's like, all right, like, you know what, I'll buy Jay Baruchel here because it's kind of like this, Woody Allen-esque figure that's like Love and Death that is surrounded by this a kind of other movie going on around him where it's all this stuff with war and like the Vikings and the dragons. Like, okay, I can wrap my head around him here. I can buy that enough, certainly, to a point. But the friends, oh my God, when it feels like just you're watching this movie about Vikings and then suddenly it feels like a one-off character from a fucking Parks and Rec episode will show up in the movie. They ruin several times in the movie. They ruin tone left and right in this goddamn thing. Something really serious will happen in this film where that's supposed to be really, really dramatic, and you're like, oh my God, you know, I hope this all works out well. And then pan over to Lugnuts or whatever their fucking name is, where they're like, oh man, well that's just the worst. Like, oh, blow me.
The magnificent beard joke got really old really fast, and that was the one that they went to a lot, where he's got his braids tied up in front of his face, and he's like, you know, behold my magical beard, and it's like, well, okay, fine, once would have been fine, twice you're pushing it.
Oh, here's 50 times.
And here's all the times.
Anytime something mildly serious happens in this film, one of those fucking idiots just might as well just stick their head in the frame and go, that went well.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking
The sister,
Lord.
the sister, whenever you went to the bathroom.
I picked that time to go to the bathroom because I'm like, this character.
You picked a good time to go to the
There's a part where the annoying
it's the
sister
sister and brother
character-
team. The sister
Oh.
gets left behind on whenever the good guys are trying to capture the bad guy.
Hey, let me go
And-
on this riff for like 2 minutes, man.
And so, and it went on and on even after you left.
Oh yeah, that's why I got up to go use the restroom.
And the villain probably would have went to the restroom just like you if she hadn't basically given him an idea of, oh, she's annoying, I'll let her go so I can follow her.
I left and I just didn't even look back.
Yeah. Yeah, she was pretty annoying, and
Oh,
the
and
brother was annoying.
they are in this movie so much. Like, I don't remember them bothering me this much in the other ones.
I don't either, and I didn't watch the show or anything. And I've only seen the movie, the first one a couple times. Second one I only saw the one time,
Yeah.
so I didn't remember him that much. But
Why? The sheep were much better comic reliefs in the other movies, and the sheep are like barely in this. Like, if at all. Like, I remember there one shot having the sheep there. Like,
that's all I remember seeing is where it kind of the sheep were dressed up as dragons.
yeah.
And it like stood up on a ship all stoically, and a dragon looked at it, and it's like, and that was about it.
Like, the sheep were a million times the comic reliefs than these obnoxious ass characters are. Like, oh, I hate, man, they really brought this movie down for me. They seriously did. Like, because I mean, yeah, there were stuff that I laughed at in this movie with Craig Ferguson's character, and a lot of the stuff with Toothless, but not these idiots that just kept showing up as a punchline machine left and right, not really serving much of a function, really. The only function they really served was to just add into the script every now and then this sitcom punchline to give these characters in several scenes where it doesn't freaking call for it. Oh man, like but like I said, there is a lot of stuff about this movie that works, which makes it even more frustrating.
Right. And see, it's not, I don't know if it'd be one that I like. If you just thought the other two were okay, I'd say don't see this one. If you like the other two, see it maybe to get the conclusion of the story, because the overall story of Hiccup and Toothless and the way they end it and everything is great.
Yeah.
So if you like those characters, see it for that. But boy, are you gonna have to sit through some shit.
It was going just one way or the other with me. Like, I would think that something is really, really cool, and then it felt like you're in the theater with a bunch of stoners that keep cracking shitty jokes through the thing, only it's happening in the movie. Like, stop.
It
oh
makes
my
you
God.
wonder. It makes you wonder on some of that, especially like when the sister's captured and scenes like that. how much they allowed them to ad lib.
Probably a lot. Like it felt like it was every time they showed up, it just felt like punch ups. It felt like here's a script, but we need to punch it up with some more like jokes thrown in, even if it'll just straight up ruin the tone of some scenes. Here's just some shitty jokes left and right that we're just throwing in here for no reason. Like it's like I said, like maybe they were just simply used more sparingly than in this film, because they seem like they are in this shit a lot.
And there was a couple times, one I can remember, that they threw in a joke where it wouldn't even fit the time period, like an acid reflux joke. The brother made some acid, I can't remember why, but he made some acid reflux. Like, why is that even here? I mean, I know we're talking about a world that has dragons in it.
If that was coming...
That's their reality, right? They don't know what acid reflux is.
Because those characters just feel like they're pandering. That's it. Just pandering to a certain demographic. Like, if it was that joke coming from somebody else in the movie, I wouldn't have had a problem with it, because, I mean, our lead is voiced by Jay Baruchel. Yeah. So it's like, I wouldn't have had a problem with it in that regard.
Yeah, but his character is in this time period, though. Yeah, yes, he has that voice.
Yeah.
But his character is playing to the rules of the world.
Yeah. So, Other than his voice, like, that's really it. Like, right. For the most part. I mean, compared to his sidekicks, the Californians.
That's what I'm saying. It's like he fits because he's playing by the rules. They don't seem to be playing by the rules a lot of the time. You know? That's why they don't work as well, and being utterly annoying.
if you were just kind of iffy about the two movies, the other two movies, this movie's not going to win you over. If you did love the other two movies, the stuff about this movie that works does make it certainly worth seeing, but maybe give it like a matinee screening or something like that, because it is gorgeous enough to where you can soak a lot of stuff in from seeing it on the big screen. You can. But if you were just kind of iffy about the other two, yeah, certainly just wait. I mean, kids are really gonna like this. I mean that's true. And it's certainly not a bad kids movie by any stretch. So I mean, like, it's well done enough, certainly, to where, like, I mean, that theater was packed and they were having a good time in there. But for me personally, yeah, you can probably wait and see this on a matinee screening, because there's enough really pretty stuff that works enough to see it on the big screen. But you're gonna see some obnoxious shit in this. I don't know what kind of recommendation that is, but like, there is, again, like I said, there is stuff that really works. Right. Any other final thoughts about the movie?
No, I feel the same way. It's, finish it out if you like them. If you didn't really care for them, or they're just to you, then pass or rent at the most. I mean, it'll probably show up on Netflix. It is DreamWorks, and they have that big deal with them anyway. So
yeah, it might be on Netflix by the time I get home. There's a few things coming out next week. There's
Lego is next week.
Lego, Cold Pursuit. Hell yeah.